Hey, it's Molly. Welcome back to my YouTube channel as I'm continuing my series here, discussing more about the information in my book, Awakening Astrology, and giving you some more insights to consider around your natal astrology chart, how to work with it more consciously, and essentially how to awaken to even more potentials that maybe you didn't tap into yet. And so I wanted to cover the energies of your natal Mercury sign in this video, as our Mercury energy is so pervasive, right? It's how we think, it's how we speak, it's how we perceive what's happening around us. It's about what we take in, what we find interesting, what we're thinking about, how we think, the questions we ask, where our minds go. So much is connected to our natal Mercury signs. And so in the book, we talk about each of the Mercury signs through all 12 astrological signs. And then we go into the energies that can support balancing your Mercury. So if you think of your Mercury sign as it relates to the two hemispheres in your brain, typically we're stronger in one side of our brain, right? Either the left side or the right side. And what we can consciously do is work with the other astrological sign that is opposite your natal Mercury to energetically balance, to understand something from a different angle, new information, a different perspective, maybe what you didn't think of right away, but the more you ponder it and contemplate it, the more it adds to whatever you're figuring out, discussing, whatever's coming up. So the idea here is that your Mercury sign is meant to be your friend. It's meant to be an energy that we're conscious of and we're aware of. But of course, there's times when the energy can be very heavy or low, or maybe you can feel like your own worst enemy at times where you don't want to hang out in your own brain. Like your brain can be working against you or be bringing up a lot. The idea here is to then access the strengths of the opposite astrological sign. Bring those in to the conversation or into the equation. Understand what that is for you, because it's going to show you other ways of thinking about things and seeing them. But there's also energy here that you can tap into that's going to feel like it gives you that balancing perspective. And I feel like we can be on autopilot with our brains. We can just be going through our lives, taking in the world in a certain way, and just not consciously expanding certain perspectives. So this is a way to understand what your mind may seek and then how to be balancing it consciously, especially on those hard days, those tough phases. Also when you're problem solving, when you're wanting to think things through or open up to more potentials or more possibilities. Your Mercury can help you with that. And this gives you some ways of doing so, of what to look for, what is important, what can benefit you, and also to expand you. Because again, sometimes our minds can be the worst place to hang out. And there can be things that our minds naturally create, that we just have accepted as normal for ourselves, or we've just accepted, well, this is how I perceive things. But there's always unlimited perceptions. There's always other places to go, other things to consider. So I hope that gives you some more insights to work with in regards to your natal Mercury, to expand you, to energetically access both sides of your brain, to work with both hemispheres of your brain. Of course, this is not neurology at all, but this is the energetics that we're talking about in astrology and the energetics of our Mercury. So please check that out if you want to dive in deeper, because then you're not going to be as stuck. Then you're not going to be perhaps on those loops or always perceiving something one way. It broadens you, it expands you. And maybe that is something that you start to go to regularly. Like it becomes a normal exercise where it's like, okay, this is what I'm assuming, or this is what I'm thinking or perceiving, what's another way I could look at this issue or this thing in front of me? What's another way to approach this problem, to see this conversation, to see this topic? I feel like that's one of it's like this really powerful gift we can give ourselves, that we expand beyond what we've known, and we're really understanding how to keep our brain active, how to keep things moving forward, how to see it in a higher way and in a new light. So I just want to touch on that because I feel like our Mercuries can be really overworked right now. I mean, there's so much stimuli, right? Just look at your phone. So much going on with dings and text messages and emails and social media. I mean, our Mercuries can be overloaded. So this can be a way to step back, take a mental break, look at where you're having that mental fatigue, even decision-making fatigue at times, right? Where you're like, I don't know what to choose, or this is a lot, or I'm looking at this all over again. I mean, whatever it might be. I just wanted to give you some new tools and ways of moving through your life that maybe it doesn't feel natural at first, but then it starts to become more natural, especially as you practice it and as you go into these other perceptions and these balancing energies. So as always, thank you for joining me. I have some more videos for you here talking about some of these main points and highlights in Awakening Astrology, so please check those out. And I look forward to connecting with you again here soon.